one of those people who puts your head down and can just be on airplane mode and just be working without a care in the world, you get it. You understand. You are in a mode of completely just numb to everything and you get it. If you're one of those people whose book doesn't seem like it has an ending, you get it. You understand. You're working towards it. You don't know where the peak will be, but you're working towards it. And you get it. Those who understand it, understand. Those who don't get it, they'll catch up later. It'll be too late by then, but they'll catch up. And then when they finally want to just start supporting you and giving you all of the acclaim that you deserved in the first place, it's not going to matter. You already in the driver's seat and you going to get there as soon as you get there. They might laugh, ha ha, look at this nigga. He don't know what he doing. He don't know what he's saying. He has no earthly idea what he's working towards. Oh man, without a cosign, he is nobody. Those who get it, get it. Hard work trumps fake and people who get put on and can't stay on track. Forget about getting the credit. If you did it once, you can do it again. Those who get it. Those who understand and can logically put it together piece by piece in its own puzzle, get it. Understand. Those people are the same people who wake up every day and go to a job they hate. But they know it's better. They 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 know it's better. They need to get the ball rolling, and they will as soon as they're ready. Just because you think that somebody is ready to go somewhere and they're not and they disagree, it doesn't mean it's over. It doesn't mean it's not possible for them to still get to that place where they want to be at. It's just on their own time. It's on their own time. But at the same token, you have to look at it at a certain aspect of this. You can do everything and still be doing nothing. You can be making all types of efforts for yourself. But if you don't have a strong support system, then naturally you're screwed from the dribble. If you don't have a team and you are somebody who likes to do everything by yourself, that'll work. But at the same token, how long will it work? Look at all the artists who are independent in just the music industry. They may look like they do it all themselves. But let knock it off. Stop it. They have a team of people just like an industry led musician has a team hired to do it. Most of the dirty work for them. I'm just here to remind you that those who get it. And I get you. I understand where you are and hold on, bro. You're about to graduate. You're about to graduate and you about to see so much. You about to hold on to so much. You about to just it's all the blessings you could think of are about to happen. Just hold on, bro. Just hold on. You've been waiting, but that the timing is everything. You got this. Those who get it, get it. Let me tell you why this album, honestly, never mind, is in fact a genius piece of work. The reason why it is a genius piece of work is because, first of all, Drake took about 9 months to say, I'm coming back with another album. There's no way I'm going to let the summer just sit here and all these rappers dropping albums and Big Honcho ain't dropping no album. Nah, we can't do that. I'm outside. I'm out in these streets. So I will, in fact, be dropping an album. And I'm not just going to drop any album. I'm going to drop an eclectically different album. See, everybody forgets that Drake is a world renowned star. He doesn't only have to cater to the rappers, the American audience. He's got to account for the Canadian audience, of course, his hometown, his home country. He's got to account for uh, the European market and or UK. He's got to appeal to Africa. He's got to appeal to everybody. So you may not like this album because it's poppy and it's dance hall and it's soca and it's Jersey Club. Somebody said it was Jersey Club, which I don't think that's what it is. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy who is a music nerd. But soca and dance hall and Afrobeat and pop music all intertwined into one little section here for clubs and hotel lobbies and wherever sophisticated nuances are going on. This is where you will hear this album. And I, for one, think it's an amazing album. I don't, you know what? I take that back. I don't think it's an amazing album. I think it's perfect for whatever setting it was supposed to be, whatever setting it was supposed to be built for. That's what I think. I think um, the same way people are hating on this and calling it trash, by the way, people are turning around and saying, you know what, after 24 hours, I actually like this album. And I only think they forcing themselves to like the album. If you don't really like the album because it's not appealing to you, then just go listen to COB. Um, but I think the same way people are trashing this is the same way they were trashing More Life, because More Life was more focused and predicated on UK rap, and you know how much Americans at first did not like UK rap, and probably still don't at this moment in time like UK rap like that. A lot of Americans trashing UK rap back in what was that 20? What was this More Life thing released like 20 something 20? I want to say 2017, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm just spitballing here right now, but it was a little bit of a new atmosphere to hear UK rappers rapping on a beat, or an American person listening to a Drake song and being like, "Who the hell is Dave? Who the hell are some of these? Who the hell is Dave? Who the hell is Skepta? Who's that? I've never heard of that person before. Who is that? You know? Yeah, I feel like this is the type of thing where the sound will evolve, and just like Drake said, if you don't get it right now, that's fine. But when you do, those who get it, and that's what I think about that album. So I was looking up black dissertations and I found one that really, really resonated with me. Black hood nigga dissertations. And this is all going to tie together. So it says lock the door and don't open it for nobody. Unpacking the fundamentals of high security with nothing but doorknobs and collective action. This is pretty funny. It's pretty funny, but this gives me a chance to go into a story time about when I was younger. So, I don't know if any of you have ever heard the one and only podcast I've done with my mother where she basically detailed, her first like her beginning inception in America. And how the first time she came to America, she didn't like it and she went back to Nigeria. I'm Nigerian, by the way, if nobody knows. Um, and then her second time coming to America, she decided to stay and eventually would go on to make a living out of and or make America her home to stay, so to speak. So my mother was basically like I would say like around the time of like the mid to like I want to say like early, mid, and probably late 90s. My mom was just doing odd jobs. My mom was just doing like odd jobs, and when I say odd jobs, don't mistake my lingo. That's how she says it. I get that lingo from her. When you hear odd jobs, it just means a regular job, like working at a grocery store, working at a gas station, things of that nature. So for a small, I would say like a little bit of amount of time while my mom was here in America, she was doing odd jobs, working at various, maybe your grocery stores, your gas stations, your clothing stores, things of that nature. She was doing that. Um, I don't think my mother started getting into like the healthcare field until the early mid 2000s, I believe, is when she started like really getting into the uh, seriousness of wanting to get in the health field, like maybe be a nurse, do home health, things of that nature. But when I believe around the time she started trying to do um, get into the healthcare field is when me as a young child, I whenever my mom wouldn't couldn't like find somebody to babysit me or couldn't find a relative to take care of me, she would let me stay by myself. Now, she started to teach me when I would stay by myself how to just get access. There's food in where the food is in the refrigerator. Don't turn on the stove. Um, other various things that were important when she wasn't home not to do. But the most important of them all, and this is all about the tie back, is when my mother would say, please lock the door and do not let anybody in. Don't let anybody in. I don't care if the police is knocking. Do not open the door for anybody. And please make sure when you lock this door and I leave, please make sure you leave only only lock the bottom lock and do not lock that top lock. She would say this actual statement here, lock the door and don't open it for nobody. I don't do not let anybody come in my house. Was basically what she was saying. Each and every time I had to stay by myself. So that would kind of backfire sometimes because I would end up locking the top lock, and it would be like a thing where my mom would be like banging on the door at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning because my dumb little self locked the top lock and didn't just leave the other lock locked, and I locked both locks, and basically my mom couldn't get into whatever establishment we was living in at the time because I was listening to her words like way too closely. So yeah, that basically backfired it. But that also ties into a thing of like I have always been able to be by myself because of that. Like I learned how to be this mysterious, this private human being. Like as much as I am on the internet and a content creator and this and that and the third, there's a lot that I won't put on the internet. There's a lot that I will not dispel on the internet. Like for instance, if I were to get married tomorrow, right? Nobody on the internet's gonna get to see that because I'm the type of person who I don't want my business up on the internet like that. I understand that I understand that I got friends and I got family, but dog, take my number down because I'm not putting this up on the internet. If I have a baby, if and when I do have a baby or something like that, that's not going on the internet. I don't want the world seeing my child. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not. My mom's probably not even gonna get to take a picture of the baby and put it up online because I'm gonna be like, no, that's not happening. I don't care. The learning and the rearing of being able to have learned this practice of privacy and um, in some cases loneliness and being able to be alone. I kind of learned that from my mom because I was one of those kids who was able to stay by myself in the house. And being by yourself um, has its advantages and disadvantages. Um, and that's where I pretty much learned the art of protecting your privacy. Protecting your privacy by not putting it up. If I don't put it up, you'll never know. Um, it's just it can be sad sometimes because I don't want to ever discourage something like if and when I should have like a relationship with a woman, I don't want her to think, oh, I'm trying to hide our relationship from the world. No, I just don't feel comfortable putting my business out there, our business out there like that because it's people online who want to use your information that you put up online and use that against you. And I'm just not with that. And I'm like I said at the same time, my privacy is everything. Like the world don't need to know everything. Just like celebrities don't need to tell everybody everything. Like, bro, Kendrick Lamar could have just never told the world that he had a daughter. It would have been okay because that's his privacy. That's his business. So I mean, that is how we get to who I am as a person and how in hindsight this lock the door and don't open it for nobody certain type of like message is just like resonating in me as I found it, and it made me reminisce back on things when I was 7, 8 years old and 9 years old, you know? I want to talk about the first time I ever met Booker Huffman, better known as Booker T. So there was a gentleman who would come to my high school who would he started like this program for mostly the black and Hispanic uh, teenage youth. This man right here, His name was William excuse me, Doctor William Henry King. He had started like a he had started like a how do you say? He started like a program in at my high school that had to do with like basically just instilling in the brains of young teenage Black American and Hispanic American teenagers about what their future was and what was possible for them once they decided to leave high school. I bet a lot of a lot of youth don't, a lot of Black American teenage youth don't know that you can do things outside of the statistically stereotyped things that are out there for us. You don't have to go and go play basketball or football or be a rapper, um, and whatever else stereotypical statistic there was for a kid who was getting out of high school and maybe wanted to go to college, or if they didn't want to go to college, hey, here are your options as somebody who doesn't want to go to college. But he always like embraced, hey, you can, it'd be best if you go to college. But he would also like bring in like people who were like in his field basically, because he was a anesthesiologist as well as he had other titles under his belt. Um, but he was basically showing that like, hey, there these all these things are possible if you work hard towards it, and he was a great example for that. So one time in particular, uh, I mean, Booker T really lived in the like he lived in the area. So, but I mean, I didn't know that. But there was one time in particular where we were usually uh he'll come Dr. Dr. King, Dr. William King will schedule for some of us to go to his class, and he would always have a guest speaker. So like on this particular day, like it was a lot of people in this, like we always like went to the library and he would like have it set up in like this classroom. And on this particular day, it was like so many people like in the library. Like this is for all of my Brook people out there, like you remember the library upstairs. Um it was a lot of people like on particular on this day in the library. Like it was just a lot of people in there. And I had no idea. I didn't know. I was just going. So we go into the classroom and bro, Booker T is like right there. I'm like, I, I didn't know what I could, I don't, the starstruck stuff started to just, I can't talk. I can't talk. I can't talk. I'm like, bro, you Booker T. I don't know what to say. Bro, you're right there. And then like, so we sitting in the class and basically he was just explaining like how like the infamous story of how like he got locked up for hanging out with the wrong crowd and being wrong place wrong time. If you don't know Booker T's story, or the beginnings of him before he was this successful professional wrestler who would go on to win many different accolades and things of that nature, he was like he was hanging with the wrong crowd, and he had they went and robbed a place, and that ultimately got him sent to prison. And if you go back, it's all over the internet. He said it on his podcast before, but he had let us hear that story. But I believe that story was just uh opportune and put there for us to let us know, like, hey, bro, don't mess up your opportunity. It's basically the same thing that Doctor King would always tell us each and every time we would like go into this open class discussion with him. He would just tell us, hey, there's a lot of possibility for you. There's different ways to succeed, and just don't waste your opportunities or mess up your opportunities. And that is how I met Booker T. And I'm so mad that like back then that was like in 2000 and I was like two I believe that was 2009. I believe that was 2009. I was like a sophomore, or I believe I was a freshman or something like that. The thing that made me mad is that I never actually got to get like a real picture with him. I had like a flip phone at the time, and flip phone cameras trash. So whatever whatever chance of taking a picture I was gonna take with Booker T, I think like they had like a camera with them and they took a picture, but we never got those actual photos of us standing next to Booker T, which is so weird. I don't understand how that didn't happen. They was telling us we was gonna get shirts with our picture on it and everything like that, but it never happened. They lied to us. They sold us a dream. But anyways, yeah, that's the first time I met Booker T. The next time I met Booker T, because like I said, I lived in this area. This is the Friendswood, that's that southeast area. This is Friendswood, Webster, that area. I lived in that area, so I dang near grew up in that area. So it was the next time I would see him is like he had like a he hosted wrestling events, and I actually went to a wrestling event for his. I don't want to mess up the name of the federation. I believe it was at that time PWA still. I don't know if he was calling it the Row or Reality of Wrestling. I'm not sure. Please don't give me hate comments for me saying that. I'm not, I'm just trying to make sure I get out all the names because he, his company went through different name changes. So at this time, I believe he was calling it the Row, and I met him, and then I met Queen Charmel as well. And bro, you thought I was starstruck like when I met Booker T the first time, bro. When I met Queen Charmel, bro, like I was like, I couldn't move. Like I was just like, she like waved at me. I'm like, and I didn't say nothing. I just like stared at her. I wasn't trying to be weird or nothing like that, but just like, bro, I used to watch y'all on TV and y'all like right here in my face, like, bro, y'all was part of my childhood, like, dog, like, y'all right here in my face, like, wow, like, bro, I don't know how to be right now. I don't know how to be. You feel me? But yeah, man, that is the first and second time I met Booker T, and he was totally chill human being when I met him. Okay, so I'm back to talk about uh, an artist, an entrepreneur, a so to speak boss, and somebody who I consider my friend. He has been given a day in Houston, and it's very important because while it seems like they just give out days to anybody, this is important because it doesn't just commemorate what you've done for the community. It commemorates who you are as um, just a human being. So this man right here, if you don't know who he is, his name is Stetson Leon Rhodes, aka You So Love, and he was given a day on June 19th. I'm going to read the caption. It says, June 19th, the proclamation is officially Youth Soul Love Day. Um, it says, thank you to everyone who came out to support myself and the amazing team at Desert Door. Wanted to create an experience for my loved ones who have been here since day one on this special day. When you think of Houston music culture, you can't forget about the late, great DJ Screw of the SUC. Life Full Circle Movement. Will Lean of the SUC was the first Houston artist to ever give me an opportunity and put me on the stage. He has supported the Youth Soul Love movement for years. I wanted to make sure that he was appreciated on this journey and let the world know how much the SUC family has paved a way for the new generation of Houston music. Thank you and love forever. Thank you to our great Houston Mayor, Sylvester Turner, and the amazing people at City Hall for this amazing accolade. I will continue to give back to the city of Houston and use this platform to change the spectrum of the music culture for future generations. So, all in all,
Therefore, I'm not Sylvester Turner, but
Come on. You
your
are.
what would lean the Candace.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? SUC. You know, City of Houston, hereby proclaim June 19th, 2022 as You So Love Day.
so crazy, bro. Just to see the impact of who he has become as just not an artist, but as I said, a human being, and what his where his morals lie as far as what he believes in and what he's gonna stand 10 toes down for. And like I said, shout out to him, man. Like, cause yeah, they give out people get days in Houston, but this one is a major one. This is major, bro. This is major. This is major. This is dope as hell, bro. This is dope as hell, bro. Like, just look at that, bro. Bro got a day in Houston, man. Some artists, some creatives can only dream of becoming somebody who gets a day in Houston. But the reality is, hey, look where we are. Not just as an artist, but as a businessman. This is a major, major look for him to see how far he has come and how far he will go as a progressing artist every single day. Shout out to Youth Soul Love. I have been a wrestling fan for as long as I could remember. As a child, all the way up until now, I still go back and watch every now and then. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but I still check it out every now and then. The product is not the same as it was when I was a child. I can definitely tell you that, whether it be the WWE, whether it be AEW, whether it be anything, New Japan, whatever. The product is very different, and I do not know a lot of the names that are there. So, yeah, I'm just gonna get into the information, and I'm gonna give my 2 cents at the end of reading everything. So, from what it says here, it says WWE chairman and CEO Vince McMahon allegedly had an affair with an employee, then agreed to pay $3 million when she signed a non disclosure, according to a report on Wednesday. The WWE board is now investigating the agreement, which was signed in January 2022. The investigation has also reportedly uncovered several older agreements related to misconduct claims that other female WWE employees brought against the 76-year-old McMahon and John Laurinaitis. Johnny Ace is part of this? Wow. WWE's head of talent relations. The WWE board found out about McMahon's recent $3 million agreement after receiving a series of anonymous emails from some woman, someone claiming to be a friend of the woman who had an alleged relationship with the WWE chief. The emails reportedly alleged that McMahon hired the woman as a paralegal at a $100,000 salary, then bumped her pay to $200,000 after they began a sexual relationship. McMahon also gave her like a toy to Laurinaitis. Wait a minute. So basically, what this is telling me that he hired her allegedly, put her on payroll allegedly, right? And basically had his way with her allegedly and passed her off to the homie John Laurinaitis? That's crazy. But I'm gonna keep on reading. My friend was so scared, so she quit after Mr. McMahon and lawyer Jerry paid her millions of dollars to shut up. The person who sent the initial email reportedly wrote, the email appears to refer to Jerry McDivitt, who works as McMahon's attorney and did not respond to a request for comment for the post. McDivitt wrote in a letter to the Journal that the ex paralegal hadn't accused McMahon of harassment and that WWE did not pay any monies to the ex employee on her departure. Okay. The board has reportedly found McMahon used his personal funds to pay ex employees who signed the agreements. McMahon is married to Linda McMahon, who co founded WWE alongside her husband and served as the administrator of the Small Business Administration under President Donald Trump. WWE did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Post. A company spokesperson told the Journal that McMahon's relationship with the paralegal was consensual. The spokesperson also said the WWE is cooperating with its board's investigation and takes the allegations seriously. McMahon's non-disclosure agreement with the 41-year-old ex-paralegal gave her a payment of $1 million upfront and $2 million in addition payments over 5 years. The Journal reported, citing people familiar with the deal, that WWE's 8 independent directors have reportedly hired law firms Simpson, Thatcher, and Bartlett LLP to conduct the investigation. Now, after reading all of that, what does this do to Vince McMahon's legacy? Does this really cripple or chisel Vince McMahon's legacy at 75, 76 years old? Does this really hurt his legacy? Because, I mean, Vince McMahon has always been at the helm of controversy with his company, whether it be his company, whether it be him by himself. It has always been engulfed in controversy, whether it be a steroid trial or the Jimmy Fly Snooker thing or the plane ride from hell, or the um, basically the death of Owen Hart at the hands of a stunt that went bad, and it happened in the WWE. So like McMahon has always been at the helm of controversy, and does this really do anything to his legacy? So I believe he actually stepped down. From what I'm gonna read here, it says McMahon stepped down, but like he Stephanie McMahon obviously like she had like stepped away, but she's like now the interim CEO while Mr. McMahon is like going through all the legal things at the moment in time. So like it's basically saying like yeah, he's he's not like he doesn't have the title of CEO right now, but he's still, of course, he's still in control of creative, and he still has a say of things to go down. So what it says here, it says, uh, Vince McMahon needed to remind you who's still in control and that WWE is still his company, then, now, and forever. The 76-year-old billionaire in a public and simple show of power opened Friday Night SmackDown last week live on Fox. It came hours after he stepped aside as CEO and chairman of the company while WWE's board of directors investigates claims of sexual misconduct against him. McMahon's daughter, Stephanie, as I said, returned from her leave of absence. It's crazy because she leaves just like she leaves just right before this was about to happen. So it must mean she knew that you know some stuff was about to hit the fan, for real, for real. Um, Let me go back to it real quick. Go back to it real quick. Let me read it real quick. So McMahon, like I said, McMahon's daughter, Stephanie, returned from her leave of absence to take over her dad's executive role. And it's crazy, like I said, it's just crazy that she took a leave of absence right before this happened and she was getting buried on her way out. It's crazy for, I guess, did things as, as a chairperson in the company and what she did. Um, but McMahon is still heading WWE's creative, and that in many ways is where the real power lies. So there was McMahon after WWE announced earlier in the day that he would appear on the show. And you know what's crazy? I really thought when he came out there, he was really gonna like address it like for real and say, "Yeah, I'm going through something right now." Not you don't have to say like, "Hey, I'm doing this" or whatever. Just say like, "Yeah, there's something going on right now," and better to like discourage all of you who are consumers and pay good money to watch the product at hand that I basically built from the ground up. I thought he was gonna take accountability when I saw him on SmackDown, but he didn't do that. So there was earlier in the day he would appear on SmackDown in a likely move for ratings that worked on at SmackDown. 2.29 million viewers saw a big jump in the key 8 to 49 demo. That's 18 to 49 year olds, if y'all didn't know demographic. That garnered in the top spot on TV that night. McMahon came out to the crowd with his normal strut and his No Chance in Hell theme blaring. Not a care in the world because I guess the Mr. McMahon TV character isn't being investigated. Mr. McMahon is. While there was some boos, he was loudly cheered at moments, and the camera cuts, of course, showed clapping audience members. When McMahon spoke, there was no mention of the black cloud and serious allegations currently hanging over him. And here's my 2 cents a little bit on that. Like he's even like he's bold for going out for going out on television and basically just opening the show. Like when McMahon spoke, there was no mention. Yeah. WWE's tagline, then, now, forever together, welcomed everyone to SmackDown, smiled, and tossed his microphone away. WWE cameras did happen to catch one fan going, "That's it. No remorse, no apology." Nope. McMahon also made a surprise appearance 3 days later on Monday Night Raw for a pointless segment to basically remind the audience about John Cena returning to the show next week, which was announced weeks ago, and the company has run endless television promos. Oh yeah, so it's basically John Cena's 20 years, in the WWE. It appears McMahon is just doing it because he can at this point. It's all a way for him to show I'm here. I don't plan on going anywhere, and I dare the board to try to get rid of me. I mean, honestly, to be fair, does the board of directors have enough like pull like that to basically shut him down and basically tell him, "Hey, bro, you got to go home." Is it? Can they do that? I wonder. Like, is that even possible for that to even happen? Because I mean, if they can like go in and do and be basically investigating Vince McMahon, like investigating the person who basically controls the company, can they also tell him like that he should leave and like basically, hey, sit your ass down? Because I mean, at this point, it doesn't look like they really can do anything if he can just show up to SmackDown and show up to Raw and just still be still be influential in the meantime. I wonder. I mean, I'm not wishing that on him or anything like that, but you know, one can wonder, is that even possible for somebody who is basically like the owner and controls almost every aspect of a company when something like this happens and you have like a board of directors who all have a say so and all go into a realm of wanting to like really like dig and dig and investigate all things possible with this issue. Is it possible for them to even do that? I wonder. But let me continue reading. Um, let me see here. It was also a way to show that it is business as usual in WWE, and McMahon is hoping the audience accepts that as they do most everything else he provides for them on TV. It doesn't benefit McMahon for people to look past the headline and question the bare minimum way he and the company have treated this so far. The most publicized accusation against McMahon from last week's bombshell Wall Street Journal report is that he allegedly paid $3 million in hush money to a 41-year-old former employee with whom he had an affair. She allegedly signed a non-disclosure agreement in January that prevents her from discussing the relationship. Da, 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 da. Okay. Okay, so basically, for now, with this whole entire case, it's being investigated. That's pretty much what that article is telling me is that it's just being investigated, and right now, it's just pretty much business as usual for Vince McMahon, and he's not really like worried about anything happening because one thing that was mentioned was that it was consensual, and she also signed the NWA. I mean NDA, excuse me, and I guess one would have to just wait to see if there's any more going on with the case that is gonna be like uncovered and is like basically lying in the dark, waiting to be shined a light on.